All right, welcome to this week's episode of Under the Influence. That's a way I never introduce the show. But, look, it's been a year. I keep saying it. It's been a year. I started this podcast. I started this company. And when I really stop to think about it, it's been a wild ride. And now I'm sitting here with Scott, okay? And I have my new iPhone, Scott. But you know what's missing from it? The Oshi logo behind your head. The logo that was on my old phone for the last year of trying to figure it out. And now you're sitting here on my Substack Live with my logo behind your head. And I don't even have it on my new phone. But I
I
want
don't
to look.
know. Why are you yelling?
I don't know. It seems like a dramatic way to increase
It's just very aggressive.
So, but in all seriousness, it's kind of cool that we're at this point. And before I really get into the Oshi of it all, and Substack's such a weird place, but I thought it'd be fun to do it live and then we could just be done with it. I want to talk about this whole Warner Netflix merger. Did you take a look at this?
I did.
All right. So something that I have, trying not to yell, something that I have been talking about long before you came around, my friend, was this whole, we had the streaming race, but I kept saying there's going to be this whole next thing where consumers are going to be able to go onto platforms like Netflix, platforms like Disney Plus, use an AI driven applet, let's call it, to create their own content that they can then meme themselves, share it on social media, and even share it on said platform or YouTube. And this Warner Netflix deal is literally built upon that prospect. Is it not?
It sounds like it is. All the press says it is, but the CEO won't say. But yeah, I mean, Warner has the library of video data going all the way back to like the first picture. So like they have all the content to
Why is there dropout on your audio? Whenever you pull away from the mic, you need to stay on that mic, buddy.
All
Stay
right,
on
I'm gonna
that
be
mic
up in
like,
it.
yeah, be up in it like it's a pudding cup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there we go. I'm putting.
Don't ever make that noise on my show again. Any of my shows. I don't care which one it is. Just stay on mic. Focus.
I'm on mic.
Thank you.
All right.
But it's interesting how you just characterize that. The CEO doesn't really want to own it. Well, he probably doesn't know where he stands in it. Let's be real. These are decisions much bigger than any CEO. These are Wall Street driven decisions.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at how special effects have been done over the last 20 years, like very manual process, they look really good. So by having an entirely large copyrighted portfolio of successful movies to train AI models on, your special effects work becomes just running a model. So like even animation, all that stuff be much simpler for them if they buy this.
I really don't like your audio, but I also don't like Substack. So I don't know if the problem's Substack or the fact that you've got 14 different ways that this stream is being produced.
But
You're like running it through a thing, it's got like, you're like running it through a soup can.
Not running it through a soup.
See, you dropped out again. So, but the reason I want to start with this whole Netflix thing is, look, we're building an AI company, and it's very cliche to say you're building an AI company. And then you go, well, what's AI about it? Well, the truth is that AI is everywhere. It's in the development and it's in the execution for any of these companies emerging today. And what Warner Brothers wants, or what Netflix, I should say, wants with Warner Brothers, to your point, is to be able to train their models on content they own the rights to. Correct. So they are basically going to oversaturate social media with really crappy memes
Yes.
of people being Iron Man or people being, in Wicked, whatever, because Disney's doing this as well.
Yeah.
But
They're
but it's
coming
a
out
race,
first.
correct? It's a race to the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be entertaining for the first couple weeks, and then it'll just be boring, just like, Grok Imagine was.
Well, but Sora was really interesting for the first 2 days because there was no guardrails. But as soon as
Right.
you put guardrails on it, so and a company like Disney is going to be very protective of their IP. So you're only going to be able to do the things that they want you to do. Um, I guess my question for you in all of this, and you know far more about this than I do, but you're looking at something like this merger, this Warner Netflix merger. And really what's happening is they're trying to compete with the tech companies, the Amazons, right? And Netflix is in many ways is a tech company.
Yeah.
So like at what point does, because really what's left now? Paramount and NBC Universal will probably merge, and then you look at it and you go, okay, so who owns what now? And we're left with Apple and Netflix and Amazon. And Disney is
Yeah.
trying to position itself as sort of a mini tech company. They acquired BAM Tech and to make Disney Plus and they're trying to figure it out now with AI. And I mean, I guess
Didn't
at some
they
point,
they have a
say it again.
Hulu partnership in there somewhere too.
Yeah, and honestly, Disney and Apple at some point have a marriage just waiting to happen because there's already a connective history there. But I guess what I'm trying to get at with you is if all of these tech companies are going to wind up creating the content and then owning, for lack of a better word, the airwaves, even though the airwaves is IP, meaning not intellectual property, but internet protocol. How do you redefine what a monopoly is? Because a lot of this stuff is going to pass antitrust. Forget the Trump of it all for a second, but a lot of this stuff it has gotten through and will continue to get through because of the complexities of who owns what and how these tech companies have gobbled up everything with really any regulation. So how do you? I mean, are we just done with the concept of a monopoly in today's world?
I think this is an interesting merger because it's the tech company buying movies. The tech company that has its own movies to do its streaming content and delivery platform. So I look at this more like the tech mergers were like if you look at how like Google and Microsoft have tried to buy things and have antitrust against them, like the whole Internet Explorer Windows problem. Well, by having Internet Explorer as the default browser on Windows, there was an antitrust lawsuit, Firefox and Chrome, and basically for a while there, you had when you installed Windows, you got to choose which one you wanted to do because of the trust lawsuit. As far as tech company goes and the climate for that, like if it was truly a technology acquisition, the precedents there are much stronger to deny the merger. However, since it's a tech company buying a movie studio for intellectual IP, I don't know if it's going to have as much resistance as people hope.
I don't think it will either, but we're getting to this point where if all the tech companies own, I mean, because look, it used to be a problem if you, like in the days of Comcast, NBC Universal's merger, right? Like there used to be
Mhm.
antitrust issues there saying you can't own, you can't own the pipe and what's being delivered on the pipe, right? So Comcast had to spin out
Right,
Comcast Entertainment from their internet service provider business. Is that
right,
correct?
yes.
Right. But today, you just go, okay, well, Amazon's got the backbone to everything. Amazon gobbles up NGM. It's not an antitrust concern. If NBC Universal is gobbled up by Amazon next, how is that
Well,
not a monopoly?
I mean, they either need to get gobbled up or they're going to fail because, the internet keeps moving forward, streaming platforms and delivery. unless they can come up with their own delivery platform, which all of them have tried to do to some extent, and some are successful. Disney Plus is pretty successful, and Apple has their own now too, and movie studios. They're just gonna have to start eating each other, eating the ones that don't have the good content delivery.
Well, that's
That's
what's
exactly
happening
what's
here.
happening. Right?
Because Netflix doesn't have good content.
Yeah, not anymore.
No, they only had good content when they were licensing it from the legacy studios.
Right.
So now that but the thing is, they Netflix will not know what to do with Warner IP, and because it's all predicated on
That's
AI.
true. Netflix is in an awkward situation though, because they are a movie studio and they don't make very good movies, and they've lost their licensing contracts with the other big studios because the other studios have decided to try to compete with their own streaming delivery. Like Netflix is at a pivoting point where they're like, we either need to buy one of these to get the content back, or we need to go really deep into making good content. Don't seem to be very good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would characterize Netflix as a studio. I would say Netflix is a distribution company that has a production arm. Okay, it's
It's
very different than Universal and Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I guess
Uh,
they're not really producing the content that they buy, but
it's all basically like negative pickups style stuff, right? I mean, you basically have a third party production entity set up somewhere, and you're in a tax shelter in another country, and now
right.
you're yeah. And by the way, I maintain Netflix from day one has been a money laundering operation just by the virtue of their business model. But that's just me. And I actually wrote an article about it on my Substack. If you want to scroll back one day, Scott, I lay out how and why I think Netflix is a money laundering scheme. But it's the nature of production. Production's kind of that way, right? Having worked in TV production, they would actually sell tax credits out from shows. So they'll bring in producers from another country just to be able to claim that country's a producer and they can get a credit. So it's a very murky area. But this isn't a production conversation. This is a user generated content conversation. There's no more concern about production costs when you're subbing it out to the user. And that's why it's a
Right.
race to the bottom, in my opinion, because it's no longer about what shows do we need to make for our streaming platforms. It's about flooding them with their own users making dreck. Yiddish for
Well,
crap.
this is the part I don't understand because they're running these models, even on that large, very fine tuned set of data, is really expensive, even by today's AI and power standard. We
Right.
And so, like, yes, they can do this, but I can never see them doing it in long form. It'll always be short, small content clip images. They're not going to let somebody build 20 or 30-minute video unless you're really
No,
paying
but
for the
they'll
full
do a
cost.
deal. They'll do a deal with a Grok or an Open AI. They'll do a deal with those guys and let them build a model. They're not going to build it in house. I mean, the same way Disney acquired BAMTech, Disney didn't say let's build a streaming platform from the ground up. These are going to be marriages.
I want to think that's true, but knowing the tech climate and how they would raise investment money, they would do it themselves because somebody's going to throw money at it.
But that's only going to get you so far. That's that whole Netflix thing again, where you're basically funding the
Oh,
enemy
yeah.
for all those years.
But they haven't given me a reason that they won't continue that mistake.
So the irony that over the years Netflix was giving studios tons of money to take their content, and the studios didn't know what to do back then because they didn't have a Netflix, so they were better off taking money for their content in a very early day when they didn't know how else to do it. So Netflix would say, "Hey, we want Friends. We're going to pay buku dollars," right?
Right.
But the irony of that is that the studios were the ones funding the enemy, even though they were taking the money. The
Right.
studios were actually so that's what's going to happen again at a certain point. That exactly what happened back then will happen again if they don't form different relationships today.
Yeah.
You know, so you're gonna wind up in a position where you're only going to get so far with these companies in a licensing deal, right? So
Yeah.
I would imagine like Disney could buy Twitter. They kicked the tires at Twitter years ago. Disney buys Twitter. Disney gets Grok. They already got Grok in a partnership with Tron.
Yeah.
I feel like I've depressed you.
No, I'm thinking about how complicated. Um,
I love this though. Like it's even though I don't like that it's happening, I love it. Does that make sense?
yeah, I mean, like I keep coming back to like the cable monopolies of the 90s. Adelphia, who is now it's called, yeah, the carriage fees, or the municipality monopoly. They have municipalities sign contracts saying we're the only ones that can run cable. And so, like, those, you know, still exist to some extent today because the infrastructure costs money investment. However, the last administration's rural fiber initiative has kind of smoothed that out because, like, I have rural fiber now, and like, I don't need a Comcast monopoly. The shift is going to happen from the Comcast monopoly to who is the streaming provider monopoly. That's where the antitrust is going to. Because if you have Netflix as the only option to stream five different major studios on, they're going to come after them. I
Well,
trust.
no, it'll be Netflix, Amazon, and Apple. And it's just a
You.
matter of time. I mean, obviously, who else is there?
Well, Disney.
That's well, Disney's on kind of its own island in my mind. I think Disney and Apple again wind up merging. I think it's inevitable. I never wanted that, but in today's climate, that's the best possible solution.
Yeah, they're going through
That
a leadership change at Apple right now, so anything could happen.
right. Oh, both companies are going through a leadership change because Tim Apple's going to be gone soon. I like to call him Tim Apple. Uh, so talk to me about the whole meme side of this. I know you love your memes. Talk to me about the meme side of this because what I really see is the I keep characterizing as the race to the bottom, but I see social media is going to get inundated with AI memeing. And it's going to be great and funny at first, but I think, in my opinion, and I want to hear yours, as crazy fast as it moves, it's going to be hard to tell very quickly what is real and what is.
It's like the phrase you got so excited about if you could, you didn't stop and think you should. Because and because what has happened traditionally in meme culture is things get really out of hand and really dark really quickly, and you can't take that content back once it's out there. You if you have all this IP that is now being used to generate memes, people are gonna go really dark, fortunately, with it, and you're gonna have to suffer with your IP now being used to represent you in negative ways, like, one.
Well, that's more that
Um,
feeding the enemy thing. I mean, that's why I
right.
think this is truly. I keep calling it that race to the bottom. I'm going to say it 100 times today because at some point we will have to reset from this.
Yeah, I mean, it dilutes that content so much that people just aren't interested in it.
Everything starts to look the same. 45 people doing an Iron Man meme. 40.
Right.
Everybody's doing the Wicked, and you already have that in social media with trends where people are putting in the work to make the content. As soon as you give them the text to video functionality that Sora provides, it's going to be. And I don't think people listening to this right now understand what we're saying. I don't even think, in many ways, we've wrapped our heads around it. I mean, we've played with Sora, but just fathom how much worse it's going to be. It's one thing in a tiny little walled garden of Sora. Okay, few weeks later, Sora videos started leaking to TikTok. But when this starts to happen, it's going to be every platform. Like trends aren't going to be platform specific at this point. It's going to be like I keep going back to Iron Man because it's the top of my head on this, but it'd be like the Iron Man pack is trending.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Wicked pack is trending. The Harry Potter AI pack is trending. And now these packs are going to trend
You
and oversaturate social.
you wanna look at a perfect model of how this works? Look at Snapchat. Like, they
Snapchat
don't do it.
filters.
Yeah, they don't do it so much anymore, but they used to partner with studios when movies came out for filters for content, and now the content can be AI generated augmentation of you in an Iron Man suit. That's where it's gonna drive some revenue, but I mean, they cycle through so fast. Like a Snapchat filter pack only lasts like a month or two before the comes out.
But it's like
So
it's like an
I think
in-app
you're right.
purchase. It's an in-app purchase, right? It's like a Fortnite skin.
Some of them are, yeah. Some of them are free, but the studio would pay Netflix. The studio would pay Snapchat to have their filter forever.
But think about it. So again, I go with the term applets. So we're going to be in this position where you're going to own all these different applets for your Disney Plus account, right? You're going to own all these different applets for your Netflix account. That's going to let you create TikToks, Instagram Reels, YouTube videos, whatever. So again, that's going to be this crazy oversaturation of AI slop. So here's my pivot to Oshi.
There it is. There's my favorite word.
Slop.
You,
Slop or
you know,
pivot?
no, slop.
Okay.
AI slop. I could do a whole blog post on AI slop. Let me know.
Well, speak to it for a second before I pivot to Oshi, because I'm just making the case that at some point, once we have this oversaturation of slop, that having quality content with engaging creators is
Yeah.
going to be of value.
So I actually did do a Substack blog post on it. I'm plugging it right now.
How
The
dare you?
example I know. The example that I used was the FFmpeg is a tool that video people use to generate and re-encode videos, their blogs, and they started this whole war on Twitter X, whatever it's called, about the Google AI finding bug reports in code that really was never meant for production and blackmailing them with it. The security uh, ranking of the product was being blackmailed by Google because they were going to release it to the public in like 60 days if they didn't fix it. And it didn't really matter if they fixed it, but it was generated solely by an AI and it had no foundational meaning. And so the same thing is going to happen in other sectors as well. And so AI slop is a really quickly developing trend of like how people are negatively talking about what AI, but I mean, you can tell someone used ChatGPT to write by the number of M dashes that are.
Right.
So, I
But I
mean,
love ChatGPT. Can I tell you? Can
yeah.
I tell you what my favorite thing to do with ChatGPT is? Personal assistant.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm driving and I talk to it and I say, here are my thoughts, put it into an outline, put it into a spreadsheet, take this idea and give it to me in a zip file. You know, it's just stuff like that so that now my time on the road is still used to get something
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. But that's not AI slop. That's AI productivity.
But that's what I'm saying. People, there's a negative connotation to AI because of the slop, which then sort
Yeah.
of keeps people from seeing where the real opportunity is. I'm not using ChatGPT. I can use it like a research tool. Hey, tell me blah, 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 blah. But I'm generally using it as an organizational tool. And that's where I think it excels. So, but obviously, look, we're biased here. We're building a product. We love AI. I mean, I recognize the dark side of it, as do you, but I mean, you obviously are a proponent of it. Would you not say that?
I love it. I have invested more money in AI hardware than probably anybody else I know.
You said you love it.
I love it.
Yeah, I know you do.
Oh.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping by.
No, what do you want me to like?
No.
I,
Well, I was trying to get back to Oshi, but I was giving you a minute to talk about slop. That's all.
okay. Yeah, let's get the Ushi.
Well, so there's going to be this turning point where having genuine, engaging content actually is going to be something that needs verification, but it's going to become a trend again. Like, oh, this is two people talking, not two AI created things talk. You know what I mean? This isn't a scene of AI Scotts and Royces doing a thing. This is Scott and Roy. So kind of what I think is cool is that we're sharing this Oshi development out in the open. The version one of the product, just in the last week, has evolved before the eyes of my TikTok audience. it's very cool to see how what started out as a tool for streamers is very quickly going to become a tool for the viewer as well. Um, what are your thoughts on Stream Elements and Tickfinity? You're not a big fan of those, are you?
So they solve different use cases. Xfinity is, I don't want to badmouth their product, but it's kind of a hot mess. Like they don't have anything cohesive to make it super sticky other than they have widgets. And so the streamers that I know and talk to that have used Xfinity are just like, it's not great. I wish it did a lot more than it does. And what it does do, they don't even really do great. Stream Elements, they were really good at first. But as they've grown their product, they've kind of diluted and paywalls a lot of features that only the really big streamers are going to use. And so, like, there's a lot of like watermarking and just silly stuff. I mean, the core of it, Stream Elements, isn't a hard product. It's just they've marketed it to people that aspire to stream and like nickel and dime them up.
But now here we are. We find ourselves talking about these two things because we are now seeing problems with them, but they weren't part of the problem set we were addressing when we started. And
But
I just
they don't solve any real problems. They're all
no.
augmentation platforms. So like
Well, so just to clarify, just for the sake of the audience, like we're talking about the wheel spinning features, which is really fun, right? But at a certain point, how many times? I mean, unless like there are certain people in the audience, they just love the wheel spin to see dumb animations, and that's the end of it. But for me, I'm like, do these folks not recognize how much more we could do with this? Like Spotify request is fun, but that's like the ceiling.
yeah.
You get points, you do nothing with these points. You get banana bucks on Twitch, you get nothing. You can't do anything with them.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of intrinsic value, and I won't go into like feature details, and having kind of your personal stream AI agent helping you interact with your chat. Like, if somebody in chat's like, what happened in the lab? Tell them, stuff like that. So like there's a way to make this so much more engaging than these two companies.
Well, and this is what's really fun to talk about because it is the entrepreneur's journey. I've been posting a ton of this stuff. I used to follow all my audience back on Instagram, Scott. And so before I ever met you, as I was trying to figure out this journey, and I'm so thankful we're here. But and it feels like a lifetime this year. But so I was like, I gotta cleanse my Instagram. My all I was seeing was this everybody's Disney trips and what they were eating in Disney. And I don't know if you know this, Scott, but I'm in the parks every day. So I don't
You
really need to see what other people are doing in Disney, right? So like you want to talk about slop. So I unfollowed like thousands of people. And I'm sure I hurt many feelings. And I
heard
started
you about it
follow
too.
what's that?
I'm sure they told you about it too.
Some do, some don't. Um, and then I started following things relative to entrepreneurship, inspiring quotes. So lately, as I've just been, especially working with you, more and more embracing, this life because I've been an entrepreneur for quite a long time, but I feel like this is the thing that I've been working towards for a very long time, and I know we feel the same way about this product. But it's the jumping off the cliff quote that I shared the other day that it's like this whole Oshi thing is a prime example because I was doing wheel spins and Spotify requests and dumb little things like Scott, they would spin the wheel and a cat, an animated cat would smack a kid. That was it. You know what I mean? But like it's great, right?
Yeah.
But it's like and that's cool. But at a certain point, like let's do more. Okay. So I wired up the claw machine. you know. But like now with you and the development of Oshi, I'm seeing things that I was playing with 6, 7, 8 months ago with the audience when I was still working with Oshi on my own or even with Shane that now actually speak to these widgets. And I know we're trying to be a little vague here, but I think it's okay to talk about like we've been dealing with the screenshot feature
Mhm.
very openly these last couple days. What's today? Friday?
Mhm.
Was that a feature last Friday?
It was a prototype.
It was an idea. It was like, I don't think we were using it in the field.
No, but I had started to implement a prototype.
I
Yes,
know
it
what a
was an
prototype is
idea.
for the sake. Yeah. So, right. So basically it went from, oh my God, wait, what? To this looks kind of okay, to this isn't good enough, to this could be better, to oh my God, we got it in 7 days.
Yeah.
And if you would have asked either one of us when we first formed this company, it wasn't even part of the solution that we were trying to provide.
Yeah.
So I just want people to get that when you have an idea or when you're trying to build a business or you're going on that journey, that sometimes you just got to take, most times you just got to take the leap and realize you're going to figure it out along the way and you're not going to get it right anyway. So don't try to get it right before you start.
Well, that's the most important thing in entrepreneurship. Like your quote about, finding out on the way down is exactly how you come up with an idea. That's where you start. But then you start uncovering all these other business verticals that might be revenue streams, and you should explore them a little bit until you hit the one that actually makes enough revenue. Like there's a very good chance what we're building could be more of a viewer engagement platform than it is a streaming tool. But we have to build certain tools along the way to bolster that viewer engagement platform.
Which is such a fun ride. Which is such a fun
Sure.
ride. And I know there are people in my audience that are like, it's so weird. Royce is like sharing his platform with certain people that he thinks are talented and whatever. And he would never do that in the past. And it's like, well, the people in the past that you would have expected me to share my platform with weren't contributing and weren't talented. Other streamers isn't the space I want to be in. People like you live on the forefront of what's next. And like watching your rapid development like makes me feel lazy. Like I need to learn from you how to train AI agents because I know you're sitting over there like George fucking Jetson and you have AI agents do it. And I haven't gotten that far. Like I told you how I'm doing it, very manual. You
Mm.
probably would laugh. But like I have to get to like a Scott level. And that's where I'm at. Like I want to be around people like you. And I'm not trying to kiss your tuchus, even though you told me your therapist said that I should. So maybe here we are. But listen, I'm just saying, do you know what I mean? It's inspiring. It's inspiring.
Yeah.
And I love that we're inadvertently sharing it all with the audience wide open when I stream. That was not what we signed up for.
Well, let's talk about that for a little bit because this is something that's really taboo in the software engineering space right now. Is that people are so worried about their jobs being taken by AI, they're not using it effectively to make their jobs more. I mean, when I'm building software products now, yes, I know how to write all the code by hand. I could write all of Oshi by hand, 100% without AI. But I'm running four AI agents at a time. I'm spending 30 minutes, 45 minutes building the plan for these AI agents. And I'm spending like over an hour code reviewing the AI agent. Like I'm treating my AI agents like a software development team. I'm not treating it like something that's going to replace my job. And so like I have now created a company as a CTO basically that has a development team of friendly robots.
And I can't
And
get my fucking logo.
you can't get your load.
Well, you have all those agents. Nobody will send me a logo.
I'll talk to agent number 4.
They don't have names.
No. Well then Claude. We have Claude.
We have
Claude
Claude,
is
right?
a
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's kind of a prick.
we have Grok, use
Yeah.
Grok a lot.
No, but you're using like standalone agents that are curtailed for building, no?
Yeah, I'm using the ones that come with Cursor, which is a development.
So there's an autonomy that comes with that.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
mean
waiting for your next prompt. I mean, it'll keep
if
building and developing and
if I give it a plan, it'll build all the way until it is satisfied that it executed the plan. It'll show me the code.
yeah. So it's just kind of this is an AI company. We're using AI to develop. We're using AI in the product. And I don't even think we've scratched the surface. When we talk about, we're not going to get into the woods on this, but when we talk about Oshi, we're talking about 3 different products. There's a version 1, a version 2, and a version 3. Version 3, the AI stuff that Scott's built for this already, that we're not going to talk about, that's tied to stuff that I've been chasing since 2006. And it's already there. It's already there's already an AI model trained on it. Like we started, and I say we, but Scott started with version 3 because Shane had already built version 1. Then Scott went back and said, let's refine version 1. And by refine it, I'm going to just rebuild it, which is what I expected to happen anyway. So it wasn't a surprise when you told me that. It was sort of like, okay, but I couldn't see. Let's just talk about this for a second on the entrepreneur journey, because it's super cool that we have this product and that you spent all this time building it. But I had to have Shane build something that essentially just got thrown out to get to this point.
Yeah, I've started probably 100 companies and run away 98 things.
But it's not a
Yeah,
failure.
yeah,
It's an experience.
yeah. It's a Thomas Edison quote, isn't it? Like, I only had to try to make a light bulb 100 times, and only had to get it right once or whatever it is. Like, yeah.
Well, I saw the problems. I vibe coded the first version. Then we found Russell and I found Shane. Russell found Shane. I didn't find him. Russell found them. And Shane built, as you say, a product that worked for Royce. But it was working enough, but it wasn't working enough, if that makes sense.
Right.
And I
Let-
had
let-
to get Shane.
let's talk about that a little bit though, because like this is, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole too much, but like this is the plight of vibe coding. Like there's a lot of press around people that aren't engineers building these vibe coded apps and wanting to build businesses off of them. The minute they try to, they realize it works great for them, but as soon as you add another user, things get so much more complicated. And you know, that's where the power of actually having the engineer build the things and understand the architecture into it comes
As
in.
opposed to being blind.
Right. It's letting the AI make those, because the AI, the prompts are literally designed to like make the user as happy as possible. That's why they're like polite to you and they say, "Oh, I'm sorry" when they're wrong and thank you, and like they're gonna do everything in the world to please you, even if it's the wrong decision.
So I'm just going to put these numbers out here for the sake of the audience. Okay. I had all the concerns you just expressed, that if I just trusted AI, the worst case scenario is I would have a successful product that wasn't scalable and wasn't secure.
Oh yeah.
All right. And I saw other people having that problem with their product. I also thought maybe I could get to a point where I could launch a version 1 and then have somebody come in and build out off of that. So I built Pixie Planner to educate myself on the process so I didn't risk the real baby that I was trying to breed. Do you know what I mean? So then I got to Shane to build Pixie Planner better because I was like, let's just finish it. Now I have a guy that I know how to work with. We have a shorthand. Okay. And then I had him build Oshi before you ever rewrote it. So just candidly, I don't know if I'm going to put the actual number out there, but that was thousands of dollars, Scott, before I got to you and what you're building today.
Yeah, I'll send you a bill.
I'll send you a bill. I'll split it with you. I'll split it with you.
All right.
How dare you? Give me my logo. We'll call it even.
All right. This was
My
$15.
logo.
It was
I was standing in
$15.
the Walmart. I used to go to Dunkin' Donuts every morning, right? So you're talking 6, 7, 8 months ago. I was standing in the Walmart parking lot. Let's talk about this for a second. What does Oshi mean? And I was talking to my buddy Nick, and I go, I want connective, connect. And I was trying to come up with a word. And I love Japanese culture. And I was thinking of Hulu and all these other companies and how they use a foreign word as a brand. And Oshi is basically like the ultimate fan. So you're like, I'm an Oshi. I'm your number one fan. It's not quite like a stan, but Oshi is like ultimate fandom. So I say, like, if there's like an artist I'm a huge fan of, like that's my Oshi. So that's the meaning of Oshi. But I remember standing in the Walmart parking lot trying to find the name, and Nick was like, Velcro. And I was like, what? He goes, well, connect it, connect. And I'm like, connect. That's the word, you know? And it was funny. Like I remember Velcro getting me to connect. And then I remember finding Oshi and going home and sitting down with AI and designing That logo that's sitting right behind your head.
And I
And
paid
I
some
don't.
guy in Bangladesh to make it better.
You paid some guy in Bangladesh to make my logo better, and I still don't have a copy. There's a guy in Bangladesh that has my logo from outside the Dunkin' Donuts at the Walmart, and that's
Yeah,
crazy.
it is.
It's very cool. It's actually all very cool. But like that's the journey. I didn't think
Yeah.
I'd get here. I wanted to get here, but I'd be lying if I didn't tell the truth about the level of doubt that I experienced along the way.
Yeah. At some point as an entrepreneur, you just learn to ignore the doubt and just don't stop building.
I
If
have a
you
lot of
keep
people in my
building,
life that think I'm crazy, you know?
a lot of people in my life that think I'm grumpy, so I understand.
They think you're grumpy.
Oh yeah, I'm a really hard personality because I'm so like mellow, mid road, low key. Like people don't know if I'm like RBFing them from the corner or I'm just like not interested in them. It's fascinating.
No, you know what you are? You until you get comfortable with somebody, you don't really let them get the read.
No, that's probably true.
Yeah, you hold back. Because like the first time I met you, I didn't think you had a sense of humor. And now I can't imagine somebody calling you grumpy. Because now like you just annoy the shit out of me on a daily basis. I love every minute
Oh,
of it. But you're
is
trying
this
to annoy me. You're good at that.
wait, hold
You know?
on. Is this Disney? Is this Disney?
No, I'm talking about text messages.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even talking about the live stream.
Look, if you, I told you, if you want to be a business partner with me, you need to be okay with my Facebook update level text messages.
Do I not respond in kind?
Sometimes you do. Sometimes you ignore me, and I know you're annoyed with me, so I just
No, I'm not. I'm never annoyed with you. Like the other day, the reason I didn't respond to you is because I was driving.
oh,
Like I don't. I've never once been annoyed with you. I've rolled my eyes heavily.
I got more
No,
work to do. I got more work to do, everybody.
yeah, no. I look. I think you're funnier than the lame softball troll jokes that you pull in the live. But you do
Oh, I
such
know.
fantastic work with Oshi. I'll forgive it. If all you were was just a burden in my live stream, it would be a different story. But you're doing all this fantastic work.
I got to offset my awesomeness with something to make me look
That's
bad.
that's why you can't invoice me because I'm paying for it other ways.
Oh, okay.
So, look, I don't want to get into the nitty gritty on V2 and V3, but V1 now seems to be splitting off into having uh, an interactive tool for the audience potentially, in addition to what we were already building. We have a V2 product that is I would call it a toolkit that is going to free up anybody who wants to stream from the confines of hardware.
Yep.
That's going to be a crazy tool. And then the third version is going to be back to the consumer. The third version is almost going to marry better with this 1.5, if you will. But it's going to be a shopping element, which is something I've been chasing since college when I read Barry Diller's biography, because Barry Diller, who many people would know as the guy that created the Fox network, discovered Michael Eisner when they worked together at Paramount. Barry Diller is behind some of the biggest movie franchises that you know and love. And then he went on to create IAC. And I think he was over at QVC at one point. So Barry Diller talked about many, 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 many years ago, shoppable television, which had a very different meaning back then. But that's I think it's fair to say, particularly for a variety of reasons, to say that that's where we're headed.
Actually,
What was that?
we gotta eventually we gotta
Can
make
you
some
say that
money.
with a little more enthusiasm and
Eventually,
also change it to soon?
soon.
Yeah.
Well, it can be tomorrow if somebody gives us a couple $1,000,000. Just saying, if anybody
I don't.
wants to do that deal.
Okay, now we're bantering here, but let's get back to the serious on that. This is a funny place to be. We actually don't want to raise money.
No,
We we
prefer
we
not
I
to, but
we could, but I thought we were going to have to. And it's kind of interesting. I remember once sitting with a guy many years ago with a different company, and he's like, look, come to me when you need $20 million. And I was like, I need it right now. And he's like, no, no, no. He's like, I launched satellites. Like, come to me when you need 20 to $30 million, and I'm here for you. But you don't need 20 to 30 million right now. You need a seed round. So I thought when I started Oshi that I would have to raise some serious capital. Um, I think what you and I have learned working together is that if we could raise that seed round, we could actually start generating revenue before we'd ever need to raise capital.
I think we can actually start generating revenue as soon as you get a bank account.
Yeah, well, I'm waiting for a finished product. If you really want to blow my spot up, the bank is right on the corner. I got bank accounts. I could rename a bank account. I just got to sit down and do it. Yeah, I don't have a finished UI. I'm not doing a bank account until I have a sexy UI. Now what?
Right.
You want to put me
I
on
mean,
blast?
I'll be done next week.
So
I'll
what
get
my bank
Claude.
account? I'll get my bank account done when you get my sexy UI.
I'll get Claude working on it tonight.
Yeah. Better be Claudette.
Laura said there's 15 minutes before the bank closes today. You can go.
Yeah, let's go right now. Substack Live from Wells Fargo. It's just one of these things where I don't think even a couple years ago I would have been this comfortable doing all this out in the open. And it's just becoming more and more fun to share it in a way where also, Scott, I don't feel threatened. And what do I mean by that? I don't feel like someone's going to come along and do what we're doing because we're moving rapid.
Well, so
And
that's what I was
also,
about to say. Like, I think that the fact that we're moving so fast and we can because of AI tools, that it's more comfortable to build in the open because you don't have to worry about your competitors trying to, if we even have any yet.
but it's not even that. It's just the speed that we're implementing. And this is what I didn't realize when we formed this company is that you would actually be in the live stream, like deving in real time, which is what I wanted, by the way. I just didn't think
Mhm.
I didn't think it was possible.
The best way to dog food your product.
Yeah, but it's like a blast, right? Because then it's like I can literally say out loud to you, like, "Whoa, that was weird. You just jumped. You just had like drop frames or something."
No, it's the auto tracking on my camera.
That was really weird. But yeah, so it's just I didn't expect to do that. But I also think a lot of the security in that comes with knowing, as I said earlier today on TikTok, what I think really makes this product special is the fact that you and I know what we're doing, even if we don't know what we're doing. Like
I
we
try to
bring a
know what we're
certain
doing.
combo to the table that I would think would be very, very hard at this point to match what we're doing at the rhythm and at the rate that we're doing it every single day.
No, that's
And
fair.
that's
I mean,
24/7.
yeah, I mean, I stay up to 2 a.m. a lot.
What's that?
I stay up to 2 a.m. a lot.
Yeah, but you were doing that anyway.
That's true. I was just playing video games. Now I'm not playing video games. I bought some. I
Now,
haven't played them yet.
no, now you're being productive. Not that you weren't being productive, but it's just sort of like that's who you are. I mean, the way it was described to me when the introduction was made from Mr. Euler, who has been on the podcast before,
Oh yeah.
was
So
that's
my wife hates this topic because she's like, I have no idea how you can work all day as a software engineer, and the only thing you want to do for fun after work is write software. I don't understand it.
because
I'm
you're
like,
aggressive.
I love my job. I love building things. It's
Right.
she was a nurse, so she's like, I don't want to be a nurse when I get home. I'm like, that's fine. Don't like.
But you love what you do. This is why, like, this is why I like to have so many things on my plate because if there's always something to fill the in between. I love keeping busy, but it's because I love what I do.
Hold on. I got to answer this question. Yes, sometimes I do eat pudding at 2 a.m.
That was you really had to bring the whole show to a screeching halt for that, huh?
Yes, it's important.
The next time you stop to do anything on this show, it better be to send me that logo behind your head. Can you go to Small Scott? Can you do Small Scott? I love Small Scott. And then can you change the pitch of your voice to be like an ant? No, no, that's gone, Scott. Oh no, we've gone full circle. I'm not being sassy to Scott at all. We love Scott. All right, Scott.
Oh, there is she in here.
It is a radio show. There are people listening to
There
the
we go.
podcast. All right.
There you
Can
go.
you change
There's small Scott.
can you change your voice? Small Scott earlier was funny because he was like
I
even
don't.
half the
I don't.
size as
I don't have that.
by the way. Do you want to know what's really funny? You want to know what's really funny about this?
No, I don't.
Oh, there you go. Thank you. That's what I was going to say. I was like, you don't need technology to change your voice. He's overthinking it.
I'm so tiny now.
All right, come back. Come back. Eat the magic mushroom or whatever it is.
You want to make the
Uh,
Mario sound? Mhm.
oh my God. Obviously, you can see why we get along here. So let's just wrap this up. I wanted to have you on again to talk about Oshi just in very light terms. But where we're headed into the new year is we have a V1 of a product and testers. And, uh, look, we're not rushing it. We've said weeks ago we were weeks away and we keep pushing because we keep developing. And I think that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're. I don't want to go to the general public until we have. We'll definitely do testing with select group. Once we're ready to go, it'll be ready to go.
And I think that's the lesson though. I mean, as much as you have to be willing to jump off the cliff and know you'll figure it out along the way, you have to be able to practice restraint. There has to be a certain level of patience. You have to be willing to pivot, which we've done time and time again here. Not necessarily pivoting away, just pivoting in other directions to accomplish other things that will get us where we need to go. Hence the version 2. Version 2 wasn't on the table when we started.
Yeah, well, was it? I mean, not as part of the product, but it was an idea.
I just realized speaking of version 2, I switched the TV remix playback on Twitch over to the Howard Stern reunion show like 5 hours ago and forgot to switch it back. We created a monster, Scott. Do you have access to that? You don't have access to that tool, do you?
I have the link. I can't.
No, but you don't have login. I'll have to give you the login just so you have it. Yeah. So we have this other tool that it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy how much we've accomplished. And it's literally a year later, we're sitting here, and I don't care if it's 2 weeks or 2 more months at this point, because what we've accomplished. I used to be the guy, Scott, that was waiting for people to do things and would have to sit in the dark, no pun intended, just waiting to hear something because I was so. And now when I'm working with you, it's the opposite. You're going so fast, I can't even keep up. I'm like, well, wait, what is that? Much better place to be. Much, I'd much rather be trying to wrangle what the hell you're up to. And I say that with the most respect, you know that. But
Oh
like,
yeah.
you're fucking like a bull in a china shop.
Well, I mean, I also come with 20 years of entrepreneurship under.
Yeah, but it's fantastic. Like, I mean, we had a call at like midnight the other night. I mean, I ran for like what, 12 hours of streaming, 8 hours, 9 hours,
We
10 hours.
we fell asleep like we were dating in bed talking.
It was so
It's really,
sweet.
it was romantic. I cherished it.
Yeah. Well, I live to work. I don't work to live. I live to work. When they asked me that question on the end of Spaceship Earth, that's where I'm at, man.
Yeah.
It's a good fit. He did good putting us together. We've got a really fantastic product. I think what I'm really excited about, and I know that, it wasn't the intent and it's still not the main product, but I just love the idea of the audience playing with Oshi. Like, I love the idea of them taking screenshots and having them being emailed to them so they can use it as a wallpaper on their cell phone. I love the idea of having them being able to put the time and the weather up on the screen. You know, all things that could be done in a snap of a finger because you're maximizing AI.
Yeah. Overlay
So
is a little complicated, but yeah.
one more time.
The ride overlay, weather overlay. That's a little complicated. Can be done.
It's not that complicated once we're multi-streaming.
Okay. I'm not trying to like gloss over the complicated of doing a video processing.
No, why not? It's a great way to end the show. Talk to me. What's so complicated about doing real time video processing? Because this goes back to something from 20 years ago. Whenever you're trying to do anything on top of the screen and have it sync in real time, it's almost impossible.
Why?
Well, we were talking back in the very very early days of trying to like essentially rotoscope video, so edge to edge detection in real time. And it was
Okay.
if you're going to run an overlay, I mean, we're talking back in the flash days, Silverlight days, but if you were running an overlay on top of a video, there would have to be a way to get it to stay in sync, and that it would in theory drift.
Because you didn't have access to the encoder or the keyframes of the video.
Right. Because if you were trying to basically, for lack of a better phrase, API in, you'd only be
Oh yeah.
relegated to
And
playback.
in that sense, it's a lot easier these days because I have access to keyframe thinking.
Is that because you
Yeah.
created access or because access is granted?
The libraries that you use to decode video have the ability.
Yeah, your audio sucks.
I'm sorry. This is the first time using it this way.
And I gave you 20 minutes of mic check.
You told me it was good, or I would
It
have
was
fixed
good, but
it.
it was good when you're speaking like this, not when you're like, yeah, no, it's
Yeah, so this is the problem with my voice. Let's just talk about this for a minute. I have like this like low key middle of the road voice, and my range is only like this. Like if I was a singer, I could only sing like two notes. And so like my wife can't hear me. I cannot like if I either have to yell at the top of my lungs to get somebody's attention, or nobody will ever like listen to me. I'm
This is
six
him
foot
yelling at the top
five.
of his lungs, by the way.
Right, yeah. I'm 6'5", I'm 280 pounds, and I have the like most muted voice in the world.
Stop yelling at me.
I'm trying. I'm sorry.
Apologies.
But yeah, it's been the plate. Like even the mic here, I have like the mid and bass boosted a little bit just so I can sound better. But
So, what's kind of funny about all this is another test experience because Substack just released some new streaming tools. And the reason that I like doing a live like this on Substack is that when it's done, it's so much easier. I don't have any workflow where I'm now like downloading the video and exporting it and uploading it. Like it's just all being done when this is done. So I love that, but getting it to work and plugging into it with my system hasn't been very nice. And even today has been problematic. So I know we want to use Substack at some point or we want to integrate and play with Substack with Oshi at some point. But actually using Substack like this is the first step because that's how you learn what works and what doesn't.
they need to make it more accessible to developers.
Well, next time we do this, I'm going to go down. I'm going to do it downstairs where I stream my other stuff and use a stream key. Because right now I'm upstairs. This is like my little Substack radio room. And I'm on an iPad with a Bluetooth mixer and it's just all.
It looks professional though. I just look goofy with all these Oshi logos. I'm trying to animate them to like what?
And nobody can hear you. See, all we got was trying to animate them and that was it.
Oh, I'm sorry. But maybe the clipping is off on my mic.
All right, look, I think it's a perfect time to end this, whatever this was. It's supposed to be a podcast episode, but everything with you is very special. And I mean that in the most sincere way. It's always unique, but you're a very unique person. Scott, I'm going to kiss your ass for a second. Listen to me. I waited a year to get to this point. We are sitting on a gold mine. Couldn't do it without you. Very thankful for you. I appreciate you. Fix your microphone.
Okay.
I had you come on the live on TikTok last night just to hang up on you. But I told you I was going to do it.
And the funny thing is like, not to plug Tori, but it immediately scrolled me to Tori's stream right when you hung up. And I was like, Royce was really rude. He hung up on me. She was like, I'm going to have to come talk to him.
No, first of all, I have no problem plugging Tori. I haven't talked to Tori in a minute. I haven't seen much of Tori lately. I love Tori's work ethic. Tori's going to use Oshi. I know that you are using Tori's live because it's a stable live in the sense that she's always on there that you could test off of. But my hope is that it
We
solves the
should
problems.
let's take a minute to celebrate the fact that she's up 50% on her viewer count this.
Now, why is that?
I have no idea.
Oh, well, we can't take credit for it yet.
No, but it's just I can watch the analytics.
Well, the fact that you can study that is, I think, really fascinating. Does she know that you're looking at all that?
No, I guess she doesn't now.
She knows now.
I wasn't trying to be creepy or anything, but like
we've been studying Tori's data. Well, because it's out there. She knows.
Well, it works out because you stream till like 10 o'clock and then she streams from 11 to like midnight. So like I use her stream to dev our product so I can connect to it and that's the screenshots.
No, it's great. And look, and then we got Joe Walsh, who I want using this product, and Joe has agreed to use the product. And do we really even want anyone else touching it after that? Like just the three of us using it first?
Yeah. I think.
And then just trying to get a constant stream of feedback and then take it to the public.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Now, tomorrow, obviously, if you're listening to this on a replay, tomorrow is a very different day than the actual tomorrow. But I'm going to do some multi-streaming, Scott. So hopefully you're around. I'm going to fire up the claw machine, play with some of these
tomorrow is Saturday, December 6th. You timestamped it.
You got that right to the microphone. That one you made. That one landed.
Yeah, I did. Yep, did. Right there.
I saw that. You're smiling. You're very proud of yourself. Okay, listen. What was I saying just now? Thanks. Back to the mumbles. Tomorrow, I'm going to pull out the claw machine and some of the other, for lack of a better phrase, widgets, the IoT stuff, the interactive stuff, just to kind of play with it. Maybe have a camera on Twitch that is just on the claw machine and be on my phone on TikTok so that I can do what I do on TikTok. We can do some giveaways with gift goals over on TikTok, but also be sitting in the room while people are playing the claw machine. At some point, I got to fix the claw machine UI. I'm going to try tomorrow to throw it up on the screen like an embed, like a widget, just to show the queue. But what'll be cool is Oshi will grab the prizes. If anybody wins, in theory, you'll see it on Oshi.
Yeah.
Unless it's inside that window where it's not being captured.
It should be captured.
Claw's pretty quick, though. Things fall from, you know what I mean? But
you mean on screenshot? Yeah, 10 seconds.
Did you just say 1 second? Like you're changing it right now?
No, it has to be within a 10 seconds. Yeah.
But anyway, all of those little things that I used to sit at home and do now have a better purpose. They're not going to be something that most people would use, but all these
Very
little
happy to give you life purpose.
Stop it. I just like the idea.
You did this to be the whole podcast. I'm going to do it to you at least once.
It's fine. I just like the idea that what started out with wheel spins and Spotify and Will It Float and Tickfinity and all of this is now actually morphing into Oshi. And there's no real education needed on behalf of the audience because they've been along on this journey. The people like Shelby and Laura who are familiar with those codes, it'll be intuitive for them to go, oh, well, here's how you call it the weather. We're not going to have to sit there and educate people. I mean, I saw Melissa in Discord the other day say, is that an Oshi screenshot? Do you know how cool that is? Companies would kill to have that kind of branding that we're getting baked in by the virtue of an audience.
But now I was just thinking about this, taking this lovely $11 logo.
Don't touch my logo. Until you email to me, do not touch it.
And watermarking the screenshots in the corner.
Of course. Well, Oshi Meme Maker, as you said, right?
Yeah. I can't wait to make Oshi memes of you just hogging ice cream.
For anything you want, Bubala. For you, anything.
You gotta watch that ice cream. You're gonna end up like me and have blood sugar problems.
I'm not. I burn it off. You know how much I walk in a day?
I know.
I burn it off. I'm at 196 pounds right now. I'd like to get down to 185. I'd be thrilled.
It probably weigh as much as my leg.
Yeah. How do we find out if that's accurate? Is there a way that we can just weigh your leg without removing it from your person?
I guess. I actually don't know how we do that.
It's like a Christmas ham.
I mean, my legs are pretty massive.
Thinking of like in Epcot when the guy's walking around eating the turkey leg.
Oh. Like, I don't think you understand to the extent that I am physically an ogre.
You're a big dude. I get it.
Like,
I mean, you're a big dude. What how tall are you? 7'5"?
6'5".
6'5"? So you're smaller now.
Yeah.
6'5"'s nothing. You're a half a foot taller than me.
I used to live in an old, like, 1700s farmhouse where the door frames were 6 foot, and I had to have pool noodles on every door frame.
And you know what's so funny about that is I made a joke about you having pool noodles on your door frame when you're like, I actually
Really?
did in my old
Oh,
house.
yeah.
I was like, are you kidding me right now? Those are the private conversations. Anyway, look,
Yeah.
um,
It's 7'5", Shelby. It's guy math. It's always bigger.
John Wayne, I gotta leave you with this. You know what they used to do in old Hollywood is they would make the door frames smaller to make John Wayne look bigger when he walked through them.
I think they still do the same thing for Tom Cruise.
I'm sure they do, but he's no pilgrim.
He has, like, some contract agreement where he can't be taller than the cast members. They have to, like, angle the camera so he looks the same height.
Contract agreements redundant. It is though.
Is it? Oh. Contractual agreement.
I guess. Yeah. Okay. You may have won this time, but I'll get you next time, Scott. Scott, I appreciate you. Seriously, this is an absurd. I don't even know if we should ever do this again.
No, well, that's probably fair, but I just want to say I get the most joy out of just dropping in your scream and you yelling my name and scaring somebody in front of mine. It's just continue. That needs to just continue. Like, that's the only reason I come to live sometimes, just so you can scare the poor person standing next to you.
I've rattled several little old ladies in the Magic Kingdom just because I've seen you come into the live and they've gone, Scott! And her Dole Whip goes flying in the air.
There it is.
All right.
It's funny because one of my really good friends is from Boston, and that's exactly what he does to me because he was a fan of that show, and he would every time I answer, he's like, Scott.
Yeah. Well, it's really funny to me that the Stern Show was so woven into what I've done after 5 years. Like, everybody comes in and says, hey now, which Howard got from the Larry Sanders Show. But everybody in my life comes in and says, hey now. That's a Stern Show reference. That started with just Yoey doing it. And then everybody started. So it's just funny how it keeps persisting, and the Scott is it. And then, by the way, your name here is Scott the Engineer. That's the Scott reference. You realize that is from Scott the Engineer.
Oh, interesting.
So it's really more on the nose than you realize.
Full circle.
Anyway, perfect place to end it, my friend. I look forward to getting that logo in the next 5 to 10 minutes, or don't ever speak to me again.
Is that all it takes?
No, we'll be talking soon. We have a business call right after this. What's the matter with you?
Okay.
All right.
Send the email.
I'll see you next time.
Right.
Till we meet again in Oshi V3, the search for more money.
I don't even know how to stop this.
I'll do it. Just you sit tight.
Right.
Okay. All right. Bye. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate you. Seriously, I appreciate you. You know that. Scott, everybody.